Welcome back into Cougar Sports Saturday here on KSL News Radio. Mitch Harper, Matt Baiamonte, every Saturday, whether it's the off-season, in-season, we're talking BYU sports here on the legacy home of the Cougars. And a hot topic for us as of late, and really this entire year since Kevin Young arrived on campus, has been BYU basketball. And the Cougars added Nate Pickens, a guard out of UC Riverside, 6'2", 6'3", depending on the listing. A talented guard who was really good against BYU last season, had 18 points in the game in Provo. He's the third guy in this transfer portal class out of 5 that faced BYU last season, joining Rob Wright and Tyler Maruss from Idaho. But Nate Pickens on the board for BYU. Your thoughts on Pickens?
I think they needed a backup point guard, and I think Nate Pickens fits that role perfectly. Averaged nearly 10 points per game. And I like his shooting numbers, 40% from the field, nearly 40% from 3, mid-70s from the free throw line. I think there's some good versatility there. He's crazy athletic. I think he'll be a good defensive player. I love additions like this. I've been stalwart in this opinion for years. The Kennard Davis, the Tyler Maruss, and now Nate Pickens. I like giving opportunities to lower-level players because I think that they will fit in. I think they are hungry to prove themselves. To me, the only motivation is I believe I'm a great player, and I believe I deserve to be playing on the biggest stage. And more times than not, those type of players work. That's not to say a Power 5 transfer can't work, because we've seen that too. We saw Matt Harms come in and play great basketball from Purdue. So it can. But I feel like there's a lot more untapped potential and upside to a guy like Nate Pickens, and they got great depth now. A couple of weeks ago, you loved that starting group, but what was the conversation we were having, Mitch? Where are you going to fill in spots 7, 8, 9, and 10? That's completely filled now.
It definitely is, and the roster, as currently constructed, has 13 scholarship players. If it does end up being a 15-man roster, you could easily say, if you're Kevin Young, just give the spots to Max Triplett and Jared McGregor if they wanted to go that, or they could dip into the portal again, assuming that rev share House versus NCAA settlement actually takes place, and we get to that 15 roster limit threshold that everyone's expecting to eventually get signed and settled on. But 13 players, scholarship players, and these are the players as follows. We'll start from the seniors and work our way down. Dawson Baker, Richie Saunders, Keba Keita, Mihailo Boskovic. That's your senior class. Nate Pickens, Tyler Maruss. They're also seniors as well, too. And then you got also Kennard Davis, Rob Wright. Well, excuse me, Tyler Maruss is a redshirt junior. I apologize. Tyler Maruss, Kennard Davis Jr., Rob Wright, sophomore, Brody Kozlowski, sophomore, Hadim Mbop, redshirt freshman, Dominique Diomande, redshirt freshman, and then true freshman DeBonsa and Xavier Staten. Really good roster for BYU.
Great roster. And the starting lineup, I think, is fairly easy to project. It's really that 2 spot that I think is what is up for grabs. Wright's going to run the point. Richie and DeBonce at forward. Keita at starting center. Who's the number 2? To me, this might be a forgotten man, but I like Dawson Baker in that role.
I do too. I like Dawson a lot as well. I think everyone just points to the shiny new transfers and just says, okay, they're going to outplay Dawson Baker. But for people that have not listened to Kevin Young enough, Kevin Young has always been thought highly of Dawson Baker. I go back to, it was the Texas Tech game last year when Tech came in and Darian Williams just tore it up and Red Raiders just kept feeding him. Kevin Young was asked in the postgame, who are your go-to guys? He pointed to Richie. He pointed to Yegor potentially. But he also mentioned a name like Dawson Baker as a guy that could be a go-to guy. Kevin Young thinks very highly of Dawson Baker, and I would not sleep on him at all. And he'd be my early favorite to be in that starting 5 as well. But I love that the competition's there. It's not just like, oh, Dawson's going to be handed the job to be with this incredible luxury car that is that starting lineup. He's going to have to earn it. And I think that's what's great about being a team that's got Final Four aspirations. You got to earn everything you get, and nothing's going to be handed to anyone. You got to go out and get it. And I love how this roster is built because it's got the nice blend of that returning experience with Richie, with Dawson Baker, but then you've got the high-end prospects and guys that you feel like will fit great roles with a Pickens, with a Kennard Davis. I do want to know, though, I have my thoughts. I'm curious to hear yours. Who do you think are going to be the leaders of this team? I think it's safe to say the guy that's going to be number one is Richie.
Yeah.
But who joins Richie as that kind of leadership group? Because I thought last year that was a pretty solid leadership group with Richie, with Dallin Hall. I thought even what Mag at times was like a guy that this team leaned on in the locker room. Who do you think is going to be some of the leaders of this group?
I think Richie is a no-brainer. I think number 2 is Keba Keita. I think that he wants to take on a bigger role. And that doesn't mean, hey, more shot attempts. That doesn't mean more post touches. I just think he wants to be a more significant voice within the program. And it being your second year, it's easier to do that. And then I also think, too, you really need AJ to become that guy.
Yeah.
Because you look at some of the great freshmen in the last couple of years, Cooper Flagg.
Yep.
He was a leader.
It's got to be AJ.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Like, that's got to be the guy. That's got to bring everyone together. He's going to, probably work alongside Richie, but AJ's got to be the leader in that locker room and bring everything together because, if he sets the tone, I just think that just means so much more for this group and I think Richie's going to be even better next season. I do. I think that his efficiency is going to go through the roof with being around these guys, but AJ's the key from the leadership side. And, nothing's holding this BYU team back. I do think that this could be a team maybe similar to Arizona last year where maybe there's a little bit of a filling out process in non-conference because it will be tougher than last year where you're playing a bunch of teams that basically just self-scouted for future transfer portal finds, basically is what this ended up being. But, I think by the time conference play rolls around, though, this team's going to be really good. I think they're going to be really good the whole season. But I'm willing to always just give a little bit of leniency in November to fill things out because there's a lot of new. I mean, that despite all the excitement and the expectations, there is a lot of new faces and new pieces, and bringing it all together, can't wait to see how it all works.
Let's take a break. News, traffic, and weather coming your way on the other side. Offensive coordinator for football, A-Rod. He was on our sister station, the KSL Sports Zone, earlier in the week with JJ and Alex Keary, an emeritus member of Cougar Sports Saturday. He has some really interesting commentary on Jake Retzloff and the new quarterback, the newest member of the BYU football team, Bear Bachmeier, Tiger Bachmeier. Let's discuss his commentary on Jake on the other side.